And that's over on the Ventures Exchange in Toronto. Over here in Frankfurt, that's HM40. They have a uranium component in there that they're looking for in the Athabasca Basin. But they also have gold and silver projects in the U.S., so that's Idaho and Nevada, if I'm not mistaken. This is a $40 million company, and Drew Zimmerman, the CEO, is here today with us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. My name is Drew Zimmerman. I'm the CEO of Stallion Discoveries, and yes, we are a uranium exploration company. And no, I did not get lost coming to Germany for this conference today because Germany definitely does seem to be one of the few countries in the world right now that is going the opposite of everybody else in the world when it comes to uranium power. So I was very happy to see that people that I've talked to so far in Germany have been very for uranium, very optimistic about it, and sort of at odds with what the government is doing currently. But still, everybody else that have traveled from other countries in Europe as well, also very supportive. So still well worth the trip, and it works for me because I stick out like a sore thumb being the only uranium company at the conference this weekend. So thanks for having me, and it's been good so far. As mentioned off the top, we are a company focused on the Athabasca Basin in uranium. We think the potential for uranium in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years is absolutely incredible. If you follow the macro stories, it seems like week in, week out, they continue to get better around the globe. Again, the exception with Germany closing its last 3 uranium sites, but everywhere else in the world definitely seems to be growing on the uranium side. Already in 2023, we're expected to be at about a 50 million pound deficit from demand over where supply is currently. So for us as an exploration company, if we are really excited about the uranium asset class, we want to be in the best jurisdiction where you can find that resource, and the Athabasca Basin is that, bar none. This is the world's highest grade uranium deposits in the world. Cameco has 2 operating mills here. NextGen is in the western Athabasca. They're going to be going forward into development in the coming years. But again, I think it's key to understand that almost half of the world's uranium is coming from Kazakhstan at an average grade of 0.2%, where the Cameco mill is over, or the Cameco Cigar Lake project is over 16% uranium. NextGen is going to be just over 3%. And some of the new discoveries that we're seeing in the Athabasca are up around 59%. Again, not entire resource grades, but just good intercepts that we're seeing. So if you're going to be an exploration company, to have the economics that are available in the Athabasca Basin are truly incredible for us for a company. The potential to be able to have a significant re-rate on your stock from a discovery hole alone can be very significant. We've just seen F3 uranium go from a $25 million market cap to a $150 million market cap on a high-grade discovery hole. The potential to be a maiden resource at around 400 or 500 million, as NextGen and Fission did almost a decade ago, is also significant. And then again, NextGen going into development at close to $2.5 billion. So again, when you're starting at a $40 million market cap and continuing to grow, the potential to really have some serious upside is very appealing, and what gets us very excited about being in the Athabasca Basin. The other important thing with any junior company is the team that you have behind it, both the management team and the people backing them, and that's one of our strong suits. So we've had great success with our team. My 3 largest individual shareholders were the guys that put together a company called Hathor Exploration. That was sold in a bidding war between Cameco and Rio Tinto to Rio Tinto just over a decade ago in the beginning of 2012 for $650 million. So the CEO and president of that company is now on my board of advisors. To be able to have somebody who's been there, taking a company right from exploration to a significant exit like that goes a long way for our team. The other 2 shareholders have also had huge success with NextGen. They put together the foundational assets that became the Arrow deposit that have now morphed into a $2.5 billion company that NextGen is today. So a significant team that has done a lot in the basin has a very proven track record. So a great group to have on our team at Stallion Discoveries. And given that we think the Athabasca Basin is such a good place to be for uranium, getting a big land position here was key. So really this map will just highlight where our position is throughout the Athabasca Basin, but a key focus for us, as you can see from the size of the land holdings, is the western Athabasca. But again, the fact that we've got close to 800 square kilometers of land in the Athabasca just shows that we want to really cast a large net with our initial land position to be able to hopefully have several target zones that we'll be able to focus in on. And again, a single one of those target zones can have incredibly meaningful economic returns on it. As I mentioned, the West is going to be one of our key focuses, and the reason why is, I mean, the East has got, multiple working mines, multiple mills, and the West, it had the old Clough Lake mine, but outside of that was largely ignored until the last 15 years. And then we had the fission discovery on their Triple R deposit, and then NextGen. But again, it's an area that is underexplored compared to the Eastern Athabasca. So as a junior explorer coming in and picking up a large land package, we think the potential for us to create value for our shareholders is a lot greater in the West, especially as we have NextGen now going into development. They're going to be building out $1 billion mine and mill facility in the West. That's going to upgrade the infrastructure to the West. We already have a year-round highway coming up here, but again, that big upgrade coming when NextGen really starts to build out the infrastructure on their side will be very critical. But again, just a lot more eyes and coming on both the development and the discovery side of the Western Basin. So having a good foothold there is a key for us. We just acquired these projects at the beginning of this year. And again, one of our key ideas was that we wanted to get after this very quickly. We think the market will continue to be a great place to be in uranium as we move forward, so we wanted to move quickly. We just announced last week that we've finished flying our VTEM survey, so we had G-Tech running a helicopter in the air for about a month and a half, flying over 5,000 line kilometers of survey for us. We covered every square foot of the ground that we picked up, really wanting to be able to get that initial understanding. And the VTEM survey is something that's been a proven first survey in the Athabasca Basin. It's been used by Fission, it's been used by F3 Uranium, it's been used by Urano. So well proven to give us the conductors that really become the roadmap in the Athabasca Basin. And we're going through that interpretation and processing phase right now. That will likely take a few months before we're able to put out the maps and really see where our target areas are and how they align to previous target areas that we found in the basin. But moving forward from there, again, we want to continue to move fairly quickly, so we'll find those target zones, determine if they need further follow-up and another geophysical study, and then at the same time as we start to launch into that, look to get into the permitting side. Again, the key thing will be getting drills out there with the idea that when things are frozen over, again, this is northern Saskatchewan, it's filled with mud and lakes, so it's actually a lot easier to mobilize in the wintertime. And if need be, you can drill on top of a lake because it'll be frozen over. So our key area will be trying to get back out there for the beginning of 2024 with drills. The other thing that we're doing in the Athabasca is, again, we're sort of new and aggressive in coming into town because we have the mindset that uranium will be a big player in the next 10 to 15 years. So actively engaged in strategic conversations to grow our footprint there as well will also be, I think, an important thing in our roadmap to further value creation as we move forward. However, we also have two great gold assets, and these are sort of two aces that I keep in my back pocket. And I know it's funny to get a little bit of a laugh after you get the uranium pitch to say, but I've also got gold assets. But again, they were legacy assets that we started this company with that I think will prove to create a considerable amount of value for our shareholders. And the good thing for us is they're very low on the capital cost of what we need to do to maintain them and to even bring exploration further. So given that and the significant potential, they're definitely worth holding, and we'll decide down the road what to do with them. But in the near term, we still think they can create a lot of value for us. So our first gold asset is in central Idaho. It's a an area that had some historical work on it. We've got a good strike length with good intercepts from the 1980s. But the key thing with this project is obviously you can notice Perpetua Resources is right to the east. We share our entire border with them. It's wilderness reserve around Perpetua Resources in all other directions. So they've got 6 million ounces in the ground. They're just going into permitting. They should have a record of decision by the beginning of next year. In the summer of 2020, when gold was at its highs last time, Perpetua was worth $1 billion market cap. It's now down to 400 million. We think there's going to be an incredible amount of value to come back to Perpetua once they get their decision to go ahead. We're currently waiting on our drill permits. We've been working through that process, but even if I get that drill permit, which we're expecting in the next couple of months, we'll look to hold on to it until Perpetua gets their go-ahead, because we think we'll see a lot more value from our drilling once there's an approved mine right next door. And similar sort of mandate right next door in Nevada, we're right next to I-80 Gold. It's been an incredible success story. They've been drilling it like crazy over the last 9 months. They've got 5 drill rigs out there currently. They've moved from a 300 million market cap to over 800 million market cap in that time period, with just absolutely stellar results that they've been putting out. They just acquired at the beginning of this year Paycore Minerals for roughly $105 million Canadian. So as you can see, that's just to their south. We're the project just to the east. Again, we're going to have a small exploration program for this year. We'll do a geophysics study here, the same geophysics study that I-80 is going to run. Having good conversations with them. We've had multiple site visits with them. So again, the potential of this becoming a bigger district play is there. And again, the reason why we don't need to spend a lot of money, but could see a lot of value come out of this, especially as I-80 continues to drive their project forward right next door. Key team members, again, just given the lack of time in presentation today, I'll sort of skip over that. Please reach out if you need to. Always important with a junior structure as well. So we've got 79 million shares out, 8 million warrants. Those are at 50 cents, so about where we're trading right now. So fully diluted at 89 million shares, and about a 40 million market cap at a 50-cent stock price where we are right now. So again, key thing for us, big project in the Athabasca Basin for uranium, the best place in the world to be looking. We've got a roadmap that we're following of exploration success that we really don't have to reinvent the wheel there, which is great. And again, we've got a team that's had incredible success in the basin that's proven they can do it and make themselves and shareholders a lot of money. So we want you to join Stallion Discoveries and help us explore in the Athabasca Basin.
I had a question, if you don't mind. We've got about 2 minutes. You're going to be drilling in the Athabasca Basin, so you're looking for unconformity-related uranium, which is deep, right?
Can be, depending where you are in the basin, correct, yeah.
Okay. But it's not going to be cheap to drill it. It's not as cheap as if you were drilling shallow holes. Why not sell the gold assets to finance that drill program?
I mean, we aren't adverse to that situation for us right now as the management of Stallion. We have good optionality having the gold assets. One, the gold resource itself becoming a lot more valuable, which is important for us. And two, again, that both of our neighbors are so active in the work that they're doing. We think creating a lot of value for those projects without us having to do big capital expenditures on them creates more value for our shareholders, for us to continue to hang on to them near term. We will be able to look at different project or different possibilities down the road, whether it's JVs or direct sales, or even a spin out of our gold company out of our uranium company, given that's our focus going forward.
And how much money in total you're spending on your uranium assets this year?
Again, that's going to be in flux. We're having active conversations to potentially expand our footprint, which will be exciting and obviously change some budgets. We've just flown our VTEM survey. All in for doing the survey, interpreting is roughly 1.3 million, given that we covered 800 square kilometers with it. So again, we just did a non-brokered $4 million private placement at the beginning of this year in February. But again, given our Canadian assets, likely looking to utilize a charity flow through vehicle down the road when we really want to get into a much bigger, higher dollar exploration program.
All right. When's the next news release?
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see when that is. Obviously, this last week we just put out the news release about finishing off the flying of our survey. So we'll go into the interpretation side of that next. And again, hopefully in the next little while we have some other exciting news on the corporate development side. And we'll see how that comes, but no firm date on a next release.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.